Woo-wee! Another day, another rifle.
On this Winchester World of Whitetail, host and deer expert Ron Spomer is hunting bucks in central Missouri. And if you think this is easy, stay tuned.
We got one over here.
You watch him, he's the best thing we got going right now. He's got the height. His tines aren't all that long now. There he goes. That's their walking path, all right.
Let's check this field out. I can see a bit of a faint trail right here. Look at that smart devil. Look what he's doing. Look at the tracks in here. This is looking good, Dan. We may be onto something here. They follow up that little road trail right there and break out, come out of those thickets we found back there farther. This the best I've seen so far. And I might just sit there tomorrow morning.
There's a whitetail buck off to the right. He's back there.
He looks pretty good. That's about 320 yards right there. What do you think? Should I shoot him?
Oh, I'm torn.
Winchester's World of Whitetail.
Famed for record bucks, Central Missouri also represents a special challenge for veteran whitetail hunter Ron Spomer. But he's giving it his all.
Show me the whitetails. Missouri. It's the show me state, and Winchester's World of Whitetail is here saying, show us the whitetails. This, I think, is going to be one of our toughest hunts. Eastern hunts always are. I don't know what it is about whitetails east of the Missouri River, but they're extra wary, they're extra cautious, and they're extra difficult to hunt. Winchester World of Whitetails is hunting in the Show Me State to find out just how good the whitetail hunting can be. They're taking about 350,000 whitetails a year out of this state. Stay tuned to see if we can find a big one on Winchester World of Whitetail.
It's a self-guided adventure for Spomer on private land he's gotten access to outside Eugene, Missouri, that he hopes will live up to its reputation. Spomer's hunting partner is outfitter Dan Harrison of Colorado Mountain Adventures, who hopes to add some whitetail experience to his mule deer knowledge.
Mule deer is my passion. Whitetail have always fascinated me because it's a totally different hunting environment. I mean, these hardwoods, these deer live in small acreages where mule deer range. So it's always been a draw for me to come out and kill a whitetail.
We're certainly going to have our challenges on this hunt. This is not my country. Thick oak forests, I don't prefer hunting there and generally don't do it. I'm a Western kind of guy. My challenges are going to be the hot weather that's predicted. Upper 60s to low 70s in the middle of November.
It heats up so fast during the daytime that these deer are just bedding down and they're not moving.
We've got thick woods with noisy, crunchy oak leaves. I'm sure we're going to be up against that.
The deer densities in these hardwood forests are a lot different than they are in the countries, in the area that we always hunt, which is more open.
Reports from around here say that deer aren't moving. The opening weekend was a disaster. It was rainy on one day and it was windy on another, and there was a very small harvest. That should indicate more bucks will be around, and the rut is on, so even without the hot weather, maybe we'll get lucky.
There is not a lot of deer here, and this is very, very unusual from what I understand of Missouri and of the ranch or the farm that we're hunting.
But my biggest challenge is going to be patience. I don't have it. To sit in a stand and wait for a deer to show up is not my strong suit. So I'll try a little still hunting, and when I do that, I'm up against the noise of all these oak leaves on the forest floor. So the challenges are out there. Whether we can overcome them or not remains to be seen. I hope I don't let myself down on this one, but Missouri whitetail hunting can't be easy.
To get a jump on the day and to see if they can find where the deer are holed up on the property, Spomer and Harrison are up with the dawn and headed out.
Woo-wee! Another day, another rifle.
With their gear in order and their rifles ready, Ron and Dan push off into the hardwoods and creek bottoms to see if they can glass the country and spot some deer.
I just saw those deer right down in the bottom of that creek bed.
Just now.
Just now.
Tail up or?
No.
Okay. Better be over a little bit more because of this cedar tree. Dan. Deer. Right at the bottom. Against the trees and in the bottom. Dan. 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 For an early morning field sit, you don't want this situation where you're looking right into the rising sun. And deer could come out in that far corner and there's so much flare, glare, and haze that you never see them. Look at that deer again.
Same doe. Yeah, look like.
Deer looks lonesome.
Yeah, there's another one coming out behind her.
Something back in the woods where she's looking. And we got one over here. You watch him, he's the best thing we got going right now. I hit him with the rangefinder and blind him. Now this thing says 345, but that's the trees behind him, so he's probably 300. He's got the height. His tines aren't all that long though. Dang, gets him out of the running. There he goes, I can see his head. That's their walking path, all right.
Ron's found a main whitetail travel route, and now he and hunting buddy Dan Harrison are following it out to see if it leads to where the deer are hiding.
Now that I'm looking, I can see a bit of a faint trail right here. Look at that smart devil. Look what he's doing. Look at the tracks in here. This is looking good, Dan. We may be onto something here.
Ron Spomer and Dan Harrison are on a deer travel route, facing the challenge of central Missouri's hardwoods on this Winchester World of Whitetail.
Yeah, they're using this lane.
Yeah,
Classic, though.
that's an old one.
The line of least resistance. They're walking up here. Let's see if we can find a few more along here, and that'll tell us whether or not he's using it consistently. But we should be finding some scrapes, either here or at the field edge, and I usually find them out right when this hits the field.
Right.
That's when they like to make a scrape. Let's check this field out. I want to see what's going on out here. Look for some scrape lines, maybe some rubs. We've got to do some scouting. Yeah, they've planted this. This is probably their food crop here. There's clovers. This has got to be some brassica right there, right? All right, if we've got deer that are in the area, there's supposed to be a lot of them, there's a drought, they should be on this green stuff.
You certainly would think so.
Where are they? Let's get over to the tree line and look for some scrape sign. That'll tell us if there's any bucks. We're wasting our time looking for food crops if they're not on it. We got to find where there's buck travel line or something. Should be maybe one up by this cedar hanging over. Here's one. Yeah, it's not a huge scrape. It's just maybe one buck passing through, occasionally scraping it up. Now that I'm looking, I can see a bit of a faint trail right here.
Faint trail there.
Look at that smart devil. Look what he's doing. Look at the tracks in here. He's really got this tracked up. So they're coming in probably from those woods across the field and up into these woods. But I think that smart devil's using this little channel to travel and stay out of sight.
This is what is totally different than Western hunting, because I'm used to seeing deer trails. I mean,
Yeah.
designated, obvious trails.
This is subtle stuff. Let's go see if we can find some more. We got to figure this guy out. This is a good sign, though. I'm liking this trail right here.
Unlike Western hunting, where glassing is about panoramas and vistas, binoculars in the eastern hardwoods are for bits and pieces and attention to detail.
I'm being very, very sneaky, but this is to emphasize how I glass in the woods. Use big trunks for cover, and I also use them for support because it's tiring out here glassing the way you need to glass to find deer in these woods. You think you can see with your naked eye, so most of us never even bother with a binocular in the woods. But man, when you do, you pull deer out of that background that you never see with your naked eye. But you've got to glass smart. And that includes not only glassing from side to side, but you've got to also turn your focus wheel and look at the close brush. I've found bucks bedded as near as 20 yards in these woods. And then I slowly move in one direction or another, and that opens up new avenues by clearing tree trunks that were formerly blocking my view, and I do the same thing all over again. And that can help you find a buck in open oak woods or even thick oak woods, as long as you glass long and hard and find them before they see you.
You know, the only thing better than getting to hunt whitetails all fall? Getting to hunt them in a brand new Ram Outdoorsman truck. After 6 weeks on the road, my poor Ram is looking dirty and disorganized. but it's still fully functional, and I love all these little electronic things. Like going down the road getting bored, I just plug in my iPod and listen to my favorite tunes just by plugging it in, and I get it through that wonderful sound system. And for charging my office, got this little 115 outlet, which makes it great. I can charge 2 or 3 things at once. So I've currently got my phone being charged, and I've got my little iPad. I'm set. Life on the road. It's a good trail under the leaves here.
Hey, there's your rub right there.
Oh yeah, they're heading up into this feed field and they're coming out of those woods,
Yep.
following this easy trail. They like to follow the easy trails, and he's rubbing on his way.
The Whitetail are setting out road signs for Ron and Dan with their rubs and scrapes, and the two hope they'll point to a place to set up for the morning.
Boy, this stuff is looking good. We can't hunt it like this, Dan, but it's encouraging because these are the kinds of places we need to find more of. Let's go check out that cedar grove, see if there's any bedding sign in there. Oh yeah, look at this, Dan.
Oh yeah.
Second growth, holy mackerel. That's where the buck's gotta be hanging out. Look at that nasty stuff. You got a thick cover like that and those bucks feel secure. They just burrow right inside of it, lay down, nobody can bother them. They'll hear you coming, crunch, 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 they run out the backside. Now that we know it's here and the feed field's right there, and we've got that travel lane, the scrapes we've been seeing, we're starting to see a pattern here. I think we can figure out how to set up close to this without disturbing them. It's too late now, we've come in here for the night. But tomorrow morning, or the next day, let them calm down and start using this again. You gotta figure, he's gonna come out of here, go check the feed field, because that's where the does ought to be. And it's the rut, he's gotta find them. And then he's gonna start running his route. So we need to find ourselves a place to sit where we're not gonna get our scent in here. He's not gonna hear us coming. This could work. If they follow up that little road trail right there and break out, come out of those thickets we found back there farther, this the best I've seen so far. Would be to sit right up in here. And I might just sit there tomorrow morning. So I don't think we should even go in here. He's probably used to farm traffic coming down his road.
Yeah.
So even though we're here now, it's not gonna, but if we walk in there,
Yeah,
he might just abandon it for a week or two. This is looking good, Dan. We may be onto something here.
A proactive afternoon of ridge running and trail following has at least given Spomer and Harrison a notion of where they should be looking in the morning.
There's a whitetail buck off to the right, way back there. That's about 320 yards right there. What do you think? Should I shoot him? Oh, I'm torn.
Ron Spomer grew up with a prairie eye, which makes stand hunting in the hardwoods problematic, and still hunting is even harder across a carpet of dry leaves.
Hardwood oak forests. They go together with whitetails the way short grass prairies go together with pronghorns. But there's a problem in woods like this, and it explains why so many people stand hunt in the Midwest in oak woods. It's the noise factor. You can't walk through this stuff on a dry day without alerting every animal in the woods. Still hunting in noisy areas like this takes excruciatingly slow movement. That's the name of the game. That and glassing. You have got to spend a lot of time looking into the woods with a binocular to find the deer before they find you. And then when you move, you have to not worry so much about being absolutely quiet as in doing it in small segments so that you sound like a normal woodland creature, say a squirrel or a raccoon. Deer are used to sounds like that, and it doesn't usually alert them. It's that steady tromp, tromp, tromp of a walking human that gives you away. I might move 10 or 15 yards at a pace about like this, but then freeze up for 5 minutes while I glass some more. I've gotten some deer out of the woods like this when it's dry, and most people think it can't be done. For me, it's a great way to hunt because I just don't have the patience to sit in a tree. I've got to be active trying to get to the deer rather than waiting for them. So if you don't like tree stands or just don't have the patience to sit all day and hope something comes to you, give it a try. Even in these dry, crunchy oak woods, you can still hunt deer successfully.
A full day of scouting yesterday has led Spomer here, where he'll see if he can spot a buck that's worth taking on this challenging central Missouri hunt. And it doesn't take long for Spomer to spot something out beyond the hardwoods that is worth getting closer to take a better look at.
There's a whitetail buck off to the right, way back there. Nice and tall, but not particularly massive, not particularly wide. Oh, good. This will show us the route they take. See that right across the end of the field?
That's about 320 yards right there. What do you think? Should I shoot him? Oh, I'm torn. Well, let's just keep watching this. There's a doe coming out over here. She might bring something else out. Ooh, here's a good one right here. Ah, it's a nice rack. I just wish it was a 5x5 and wider. Boy, he's sticking into the timber. I thought he'd been out by now. Unless there's some does down there he's playing around with. He can give us a slip right down there by sticking to that brush. He looks pretty good. Nope, main beam's not long enough. Boy, that would be an easy shot. That's not one back there, is it? You might make 140. No. He's nothing outstanding. He's same spread. Another 4-pointer. They're all peas in a pod here. Okay, so that's 3 we've turned down now. 4x4s, 4x4s, 4x4s. They're like Ram trucks. They're all 4x4s. They get around really well. But I want the 1500. I want the 3500 model.
It's not for a lack of trying, but Spomer just isn't seeing the big bucks. Time to regroup with Dan Harrison and see if they can come up with some new strategy.
I think all the acorns have been eaten and they're concentrating on the feed field somewhere.
Yeah, I have been looking around. All the acorns are gone.
Yeah, you dig under the leaves and there's just nothing there but husks and chewed up stuff like this. Well, I mean, that's what, when you're hunting a new area, you don't know it, never been there before. It takes a little snooping around to figure things out.
And we still got time. I mean, this is...
Yeah, we got time.
In the rut every day.
Every day you're getting closer to the
and
rut,
better.
so yeah, I'm not giving up by any means. My gosh, I've got him at 120 yards. I could nail this guy. He's coming.
A laser rangefinder has long been one of Spomer's prime hunting tools, not just to tell him when a shot's within his range, but when it's too far outside.
Hey, these laser rangefinders have done more to reduce crippling loss than probably any other technology we've ever used. They tell us exactly how far it is to our subject. So within our shooting abilities, we know whether or not to take the shot and right where to hold. But when you're shopping for a rangefinder, get one that actually rates farther than you think you might need. So if you're thinking you want to range out to 600 yards on game, better get yourself a 1200 yarder. Know what you're getting, know how to use it, and reduce that crippling loss. That's what laser rangefinders are for.
It's the last day, and Ron decides to get aggressive and leave the hardwoods and its smaller deer to see if the open fields have any big ones. And as Spomer reaches the edge of the open, he spots a buck that, while not off the charts, is still bigger than all the others he's seen on this difficult hunt.
Here he comes. Oh yeah, come on. Oh yeah, right at me. Come back. Curious boy, he wants to come. Come on, big fella, let's go. Here he comes. Here he comes. Nope. Going around the corner. Doggone, he was close. Property lines kill you every time. Oh well. That could have been the buck, if it weren't for property lines and you can hunt here and you can hunt there. Plus,
I have the knowledge that he was close enough, I brought him in, I did my part, and I had him close enough and could have done the job. And there's great satisfaction in that.
Oh my, did I say challenging? Did I say this might be a little bit challenging? This is nigh impossible. I can't believe it. We try everything. We've still hunted. We've rattled and grunted. And whether I should blame it on the unusual heat here, we're getting up to the mid to high 60s, or I should blame it on a shortage of deer, I just don't know.
Everything is playing against us on this deal with the deer density, the drought, and the heat. We needed some really cold weather, and I think that would have really helped us a lot.
I have never hunted in the rut when I didn't see bucks sniffing or chasing does. There's just nothing going on. But what I've learned are these things. Do your homework. Find out how many deer are in the area, what the harvest success average has been over the last few years, whether it's trending up and down. I think that will go a long way toward a successful hunt in this kind of habitat. I thought the bucks would be running these ridges, but I'm not. I saw one little scrape.
That's why I wanted to sit here.
Yeah, well, it makes perfect sense. They're supposed to do that, but apparently nobody told the bucks.